Today's gonna be meal prep 101. Not really 101, but basically what I do and some tips that I can share with you. Cooking breakfast. I have to head to the gym, do some training, and then I'm gonna head to Costco, buy some groceries, some steak, and some, I don't know. There's a list. Andrea made a list, so I'm gonna buy some stuff. But I'm gonna bring it home, do some cooking, and show you how I cook the stuff, and talk a little bit about how I package things and how I prep my meals and all that good stuff. And then at the end, I'm gonna give you my recipe, or maybe I shouldn't, of my burrito bowl, my homemade burrito bowl, which I eat on the daily now. It's awesome. A lot of people have been asking for it, so yeah. I'm too lazy to wash a cup, so I'm going to use this quarter cup 4 times. Egg whites cook really fast, so you gotta be quick here. I tilt the pan around, and this is the trick. Boom, and then you slide it. Tilt the pan again. Grab the edge, and then you slide. And tilt the pan, and it's done. Salt. Garlic. Done. It's alright. And that's breakfast.
Later.
Just got home from the gym, had a quick workout, upper body workout. Here's my lunch for today, and pretty much my lunch every day. It's 7 ounces of chicken. I increased my protein, so I need some extra protein. 7 ounces of chicken and a cup of rice. So originally I had planned for a cup and a half, but I'm gonna watch the Raptors game at Richie's place today, and they said they're gonna order pizza and there's gonna be snacks and stuff. So just in case, not putting much confidence in my willpower to resist pizza and snacks and stuff, I reduced some of my carbs, and I'll probably reduce my carbs and or fats in other meals just to make up for anything that I might eat later. My protein, though, I'm going to keep super high, so 7 ounces is where it's going to be at. And I'll probably have one of these cookies, because this is just chilling here on the counter. So I'm going to have one of these too. And then I'm going to head to Scarborough to buy some chicken, and then I'm going to go to Costco and then come back and cook some stuff.
Got all the groceries. I'm not able to cook right now because I have to take off, me and my family, and then go to Richie's house to watch the game. So hopefully tonight I'll be able to get to cooking and meal prepping. Okay, here we go. Meal prepping. We got some top sirloin steak from Costco. There's some spots there that weren't there yesterday, but whatever. A big bowl of chicken breast. So this is about 2 kilos of chicken breast, individually flash frozen. This is kind of the only chicken that I eat right now from JW Foods in Scarborough, so check them out. Awesome chicken. And a bunch of empty glass containers to receive all this proteiny goodness. I'm gonna cook it on the stove here in the pan. So I'm gonna set it to 7. I'm gonna cook the chicken first, and then I'm gonna season the steak and cook it. So for the chicken, each piece is about 1.2 ounces. Each piece is about 1.2 ounces. So I just cook it for a couple minutes each side. I just wait till the edges turn white, and then I flip it. And then there's such little pieces, I just like cut them in half just to check that they're cooked and then throw them in. You could cook them in the oven. I've tried cooking them in the oven before, just to not have to stand here and waste time, but when I find that when I cook them in the oven, they don't get that sear on the outside, and it changes the taste, it changes the flavoring. It's almost the same, but it comes out with a little bit of a rubbery outside. I don't want to like sear the outside and then put it in the oven. It's like too many steps, so I just stand here and cook them all, unfortunately. But you guys do whatever you want. I know what you're thinking. Why aren't I using this other pan, and why are my tongs so long? This pan is our designated egg pan, and you're wanting to designate an egg omelet pan so we don't cook any meat on here, and it keeps it clean and without all the like char from cooking meat on it. And the shorter tongs are in the dishwasher. The shorter, more practical tongs are in the dishwasher. A little white around the edges, and give it a flip. Add some salt, pepper. Tips for cooking a steak. You want medium-high heat or high heat. Lay down your oil. I use cooking spray. Whoops. Cooking spray. A little bit of smoke is okay. I'm just gonna take it off a little bit. Grab it so it's already seasoned. Lay it down. You want that searing sound. It's good. This is a thick steak, so I'm going to cook it for about 4 minutes per side. Here's the trick if you're using steak for your meal prep. You can't compare it to a steak that you're going to get in a restaurant or at a steakhouse. So you got to understand that it's not going to taste the same. A trick that you can use, that I use in order to make it taste good is I'll only cook it to rare, so this 4 minutes aside at this thickness is only going to get to rare, because I know I'm going to put it in the microwave to reheat it. Or I'm going to reheat it somehow in order for me to eat it, because I have to store it in the fridge. And when you reheat it, it's going to cook some more. So to avoid getting an overdone, really tough, chewy steak, I always cook it to rare. That way when I warm it up, it gets to about medium. I can control where it gets to, and usually it gets to about medium, and it tastes pretty good and it stays tender. Another thing to note, so you notice chicken breast, top sirloin is a leaner cut of steak. I generally use just like the leanest protein that I can for my meals. What that does is there's very minimal fat in the proteins that I use. So chicken breast as opposed to chicken thighs, sirloin steak as opposed to, I don't know, something with more fat. Although proteins with more fat taste better because of the fat. I like to use the lean proteins because I can add stuff to it afterwards, like after I cook it and after I make stuff. So for example, in the case of the burrito bowl that I'm going to make, because the steak is lean, I have fat calories or fat grams to use for cheese, avocados, and stuff like that. If I were to use, like, let's say, I don't know, a ribeye steak, for example, which has a lot of fat in it, sure, the meat would taste better. The meat itself would be more flavorful because of the fat, but I wouldn't be able to add avocados and cheese and whatever other oil-based or fat-based flavorings that I want. Fat is flavored. Just like I said, oils, any oil-based like marinades or sauces, cheeses, that's all fat. So you can either have it in the meat, so I can have chicken thighs instead of chicken breast, or you can have it as an additive. I like to use it as an additive because it allows me to add variety to my meals. So instead of just eating the protein and rice, or protein and carb, or protein and vegetables, I can have a leaner protein and then add things that I wouldn't be able to add, and create like fun combinations which make me enjoy my food, enjoy my diet even more. And that's huge when it comes to sticking to your diet and sticking to your meal plan. If it was boring all the time, then I probably wouldn't want to eat it. But if it's like, hey, I get to eat a burrito bowl, or hey, I get to eat like, I don't know, like chicken breast and I don't know. But hey, I get to eat a burrito bowl, right? So that's one other key. Fat is flavor. Either have it in the meat or have it as an additive. Flip this here. There we go. And it looks black on this angle, but it's actually pretty golden. Another tip, you see me always taking the pan off the heat. You want the high heat in order to sear the meat. But once it's seared, you don't need that super high heat because you're going to burn the outside. And all the smoke is going to set your fire alarm off and scare the shit out of your dog. So I always take it off because the heat, even though you take it off, the heat stays in the pan. Right? So you won't get that smoke and you won't get that burn on the outside, but you can still evenly cook the steak. Another tip, I'm filled with tips today. Make sure that your steak, or any meat that you're cooking, but especially your steak, is about room temperature before you cook it. That way it cooks evenly and it's not cold in the center. Came out a little bit more medium than I would like, but pretty good. Just looked in the fridge, there's no avocado, there's no peppers. I can't show you that part of building the burrito bowl. Luckily, I filmed some footage about 2 days ago of me making the burrito bowl after this step, after the steak has been prepped. So I'm gonna throw it back to Sean from 2 days ago to show you how it's made. Okay, so for lunches, like I said, I cook a bunch of meat in bulk, so I don't have to keep re-cooking. So some top sirloin steak and some chicken breast. I'll throw my container on the scale. I have these fancy food prep containers, but you can just get any container from the grocery store. So I zero it, 0 ounces. Like I said earlier, I need 7 ounces of chicken breast and then 8 ounces of steak. So I'm just gonna weigh out 7 ounces of chicken breast, 6.9. There you go, 705 is fine. Boom, close enough. Then what I'll do afterwards is add in all my rice. So for the famous burrito bowl, I start with the steak, like you saw me weigh out. I added a cup and a half of rice. The rice will depend, the amount of rice will depend on, I guess, how many macros you have and how many carbs you're willing to allot to this meal. So mine's a cup and a half. Zero the scale, so 0 grams. And what I'm gonna do is add in my extra chunky medium salsa. I add 1 serving size, which is 4 tablespoons or 60 milliliters. I actually measured it with a tablespoon thing and weighed it at the same time to find out what the weight was, so I don't have to keep using a tablespoon and rely on that since I always have the scale, and it actually ends up being 60 grams of this to be 4 tablespoons. So I'll just put in 60 grams. $61, sure. What I'm gonna do now is weigh out the cheese. I've been put it as 15 grams of marble cheese. The great thing about Fitness Pal is you can scan the barcode to get the exact product. 15 grams, and what I'll do is I'll weigh out 15 grams. And the reason why I'm not putting it on the rice, just like I did the salsa, is because I personally like to put the cheese on after I warm it up. I don't like to put the cheese on and put it into the microwave. So kind of like Chipotle style, how they'll put the cheese on, it's like not fully melted. I like it like that. So there's 15 grams, and I'll take this with me. This is the avocado, or the same size of the avocado that I usually get. So half of this, the whole thing is about 100 grams, so I'll use half. I'll bring the whole avocado with me and just cut it in half there, and then chop it up and throw it on top after I heated up the steak and the rice. So what it looks like after it's done and heated up is, and that's it.